Hello my lovely witches, and welcome to this video all about mini grimoires. So as you all know, I like a grimoire project, and I like to have a variety of different grimoire projects on the go at any one time. And I'm going to show you these 5 that I have fairly recently completed, although to be honest the first one I completed quite some time ago. I just have had it sitting there to show you guys and haven't got around to it. So this was actually a purchased accordion watercolor sketchbook that I got from Amazon, I think it was. And I have covered it with some jelly printed sticky back paper and a little label. This is a book created entirely around the correspondences and mythology and symbolism of my matron goddess, the Kaliak. So let's just get started. I'll show it to you. So here she is, along with some rain clouds, thunder, the eye, the deer. These are some hagstones. These are I can't remember the name of it in Scottish Gaelic, but they're the stones that are in Scotland that represent her and her family. Deer, shells, teeny weeny little Kaliak. So that's it. That's the project. I have to do this because it won't all fit. It's too long. And this was just a really lovely exploration in colour, working just in some watercolour, and in just enjoying them. They're very simple little illustrations, just enjoying working with the Kaliak for the Kaliak. You know, she's my matron goddess. I love her. So that's one little project that I thought I'd show you. The next one is something I actually made from a piece of junk mail. It was from a bank and it came in the post, and it was on nice thick sturdy card, and I thought I might be able to make that into something. And it went into my stash, and it stayed in my stash for ages. And then when I was looking to do a little bit of a spell for self-care and healing, I thought, oh, that might be the perfect sort of vessel to explore that and create that spell. So here it is. A spell for self-care. Just using lots of little scraps and items that have again been in my stash for ages. It's about taking time to live well. A little tiny pocket with a little tiny card inside. Tiny bit of colouring in and some stamping and some bits of ephemera. Just a nice little tiny project. As I said, that's what this is about. Just to show you that you can create not just big books like my big, herb book, or my big Wheel of the Year book that took me 12 months, or even my books of shadows sort of flip throughs that I do that tend to be projects that are months. I mean, this little project was a sort of one afternoon kind of project. This took a little bit longer, but that was more because it was one of those things that I picked up and put down. But I can probably say you could complete that in a weekend. This is a little project that I did in honour of Bridget, who's another goddess that I work with. And this came in, the base of this was actually a colouring in book for Christmas that came in a bag of goodies from the op shop that I often pick up. These bags of things. They like to bundle stuff up. They don't like to have the cheap items too cheap. Like there's nothing in my op shop that's less than $2. So they'll bundle things together and put them in a bag of a whole lot of different stuff. And so you might see one thing in this bag that you really want, or a couple of things, but you have to buy the whole bag to do it. And I don't like throwing things away. I certainly, would prefer to find a use for something rather than just donate it straight back. And so this little colouring book was not a colouring book I was going to ever use. It was very, very thin paper, but it had a nice card cover. And so it's become a mini grimoire. Use what you have, people. So I also had, one of the other reasons I made this is because I had a lot of representations of Bridget. They were originally stuck to the wall near my little wall shrine in my studio. And I just thought this would be a great place to house those. So most of the artwork is from a whole lot of different sources. If I can work out where they're from, I'll try and link them in the video below. But I'll be honest, I would say most of them I have no idea. I think this might have come from Muses of Mystery in a box. This I do know is a Molly Roberts creation that came in some snail mail. And I liked the idea of striking a fire in my soul, and that it sort of felt very natural as something that the goddess of the forge and of, you know, creativity and sort of arts and crafts, that just made sense to me. So it lives in there. This was a printable, I think, from somewhere. Yeah. I know I bought some postcards a while back on Redbubble, but I'm not sure if I've even got a list of that transaction. It was so long ago. This is another Molly Roberts piece. Anyway, again, I've just used some papers and stamping. These are La Green Witch stamps to add to. This was a card from... Oh, I might even be able to reach across and find it. It is out of print. You can't get it anymore. But it had gorgeous cards in it, and I've used them in various projects and for various reasons, and just kept the book. More postcards that I'm pretty sure came from Redbubble. Apologies to the artists who created them. Because I've glued them in my book, I can't even turn the card over and look at the back, which it does actually usually tell you who created the art. A little tag for resilience. Again, that's a Molly Roberts piece. Doesn't want to show you the rest of that image. Sorry. There. And the back cover I left plain. Well, without any images on it. You know what I'm saying. I'm waffling again. So that's my little project about Bridget. Just utilising and bringing together things that... Okay, sorry about that. My phone cut out because my storage was full on it, so I've had to delete some videos. Hopefully they don't disappear from YouTube, or they will be gone forevermore. Anyway, I was waffling about my book about Bridget, but I was going to just reiterate, use what you have. You know, you might have things that turn up in your junk mail or in your letterbox. You might find things at the op shop. You might find things in your recycling bin. Use whatever you can to create your projects. So that's the first three. The next two that I wanted to show you are made from books that I've made myself. And I actually have a bunch of them that I'm going to list for sale in my Etsy shop. So we'll have a little look at those in a minute, as long as my phone doesn't cut out of battery again, or out of storage again. Anyway, so I've created these two books. This one on how to live a happy hobbit life. And this one is all centered around the theme of flow, which is my word for the year. We'll start with the hobbits. A little while ago, I was having a bit of a tough time and wanted reminders of simple things, you know, in life that I could either do, bring into my life, or experience or focus on for contentment and happiness. And basically, I just want to be a hobbit. I think a hobbit life sounds pretty good. So I made a little book on how to live a happy hobbit life. So this is using some printables. It's using images from the internet. It's using all sorts of things. The Shire. Hobbity. That's a picture of an image actually done by Tolkien. And it's when others think in squares, hobbits think in circles, which is a sort of reference to the roundness of hobbit homes or smiles. Embracing comfort, living in a cozy home built into the side of a hill. Eat like a brandy buck and drink like a took. That's a quote that I read in a book about hobbits, and I'm not sure if I have it on my shelf nearby. No, it's not. Sorry. It's a book written by a guy. I'll see if I can link it in the description. All about living a hobbit life, or what hobbits can teach us about living life and enjoying life. This is all about food that appears in the books. The classic breakfast, second breakfast, 11s, lunch and afternoon tea, dinner and supper. Godric agrees. Paint your front door a bright colour. My front door is actually painted a bright purple. It is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life. Quote by Tolkien himself. In fact, I think it's actually said by Gandalf in The Hobbit. That's a Hobbit Inn, the Green Dragon. Just some notes on what spending time with your friends down at the inn or hobbity pub might mean. On rings and butter. The ring makes Bilbo feel like too little butter spread over too much bread. To hobbits, an excess of butter was one of the great and requisite joys. I don't know what's going on today. My phone is not playing ball. Probably it's coming to the end of its life. Hopefully it will let me finish recording this video for you, and we can move on. But we shall see, because it hasn't been happy so far. Anyway. Back to how to live a hobbity life. Potatoes. Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Lovely big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish. Samwise Gamgee. I do love a potato. Eating seasonally, growing your own food. Walking like a hobbit, because hobbits love to walk. I struggle a little with that. I have some mobility issues, but certainly I would like to try and incorporate a little bit more walking in my life if I can. It's a fine balance for me between getting some exercise and then spending the next 3 days in bed because I can't walk. So little by little, but it is something I'd quite like to be able to do more of. Books and journals. Journal like a hobbit. Write your adventures down. Illustrate your life. Create a magical library. You know how much I love that. Read like a hobbit and learn new things. If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. I love that quote by Thorin on his deathbed. It's so true. And I think it can be really tough when we all need money to live and do the things that we need to do. And cost of living crisis at the moment is absolutely insane. And I'm certainly not about to suggest that anyone should be, oh, you know, just be happy because you've got a roof over your head or what have you. Because that's looking at the situation too simply. I'm going on a ramble again. Sorry. enjoy what you do have, try and appreciate what you do have, but don't by any stretch of the imagination accept the situation in a status quo just because someone tells you you should be grateful. There's toxic positivity around that. Again, I'm still rambling, but I love you guys. I hope you're not doing it too tough, but believe me, I understand if you are. Speak, friend, and enter. That's the gates of the mines of Moria. It's a really beautiful thought. That friends are the ones that can come into your home and no one else can. Smaug. Yeah, I was in Rivendell. I'd love to go to Rivendell. I know it's mythical, but I'd still like to go there. Some little bits that got left behind. Anyway, that's my little book. Just trying to cheer myself up and find those simple things in life that I can enjoy and make the most of them, and make the most of, you know, happiness and gratitude and all of those sorts of things, because it can be hard when life is sucking. It can be really hard to see the good things that you do have. So this has helped me greatly in being able to do that with my own life. So that's that little one. And the next one, as I said, my word for 2024 is flow. And this is my book that I've created on flow. It's got, you'll see it's got a very watery sort of theme. Lots of bits and pieces. Again, printables and items. This is from Lucy from Les Patouilles de Lucie. And it's a beautiful piece that I bought from her. And I quite like the idea of keeping it in my book. Sacred bathing. I think there's something really lovely about sacred bathing or sacred showering for particular purposes or to honour a season. This is a little bit of information about Sulis, goddess of the waterways. This is another Molly Roberts piece. I sometimes find these little grimoires are perfect for the pieces of ephemera that I purchase or receive from other witches. This is all about the Salmon of Wisdom, which is one of my favourite Celtic tales. Mermaid magic. Synonyms for the word flow. Water nymphs. Oh, puffins. How cool are puffins? They're such cool birds. And that's a little bit about puffins in a magical sense. More Molly ephemera. Information about Melusine. Rivers and their magical associations. A deep sea elixir recipe. Whales and their magical associations. We're coming up to whale watching season here and I'm quite excited about that. It's always so beautiful to see them. Shell magic. It's all about the Hydra, which is a fascinating sort of monster. I I'm really starting to be drawn to the Hydra as a mythological creature. I think it's, yeah, it's just vibing with me at the moment. This is a water blessing to bless my drinking water. This is about the cauldron. Hello, Godric. This is another little Molly piece. And yet more Molly pieces. This has got a lot of Molly in it. Some cards I have not finished by the looks of things. I didn't realise they were in there. This is just about going with the flow. Even if it means riding a flower-bedecked cow through the waves with your coven, which is just what this picture looked like to me. I don't know why. Sea cow. Okay. This is some memories of water from childhood. I'm not going to open it because it's quite personal. If you can hear that flipping around, that's Godric chasing his tail because he's an idiot. This is my sigil for flow. And a healing sigil as well. That's the end of the book. So that is my little book for flow. If you have a word of the year, you might want to consider creating a little mini grimoire exploring the themes of that word. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and it made me think about ways to incorporate my word into my day-to-day life on a more sort of active level. So yeah, flow. Anyway, those are my little mini grimoires. I'm a bit discombobulated because I've had to stop and start this video a few times, but I will say here are these are the little mini grimoires that I'm going to pop up onto my Etsy store. Apologies to anyone overseas. The postage for these things is absolutely horrendous. So take it or leave it. I can't do much about that. At least if you're local, that it's not quite so bad. But just everything. Everything costs so much at the moment. Anyway, if you're interested in one of these, if you want to make your own mini grimoire on a theme, you might be interested in one of these. If you are, I'll add the link to my Etsy shop below once I've got these all uploaded. I've made a whole lot of different ones. They're all sort of loosely colour themed, just because that's fun. And even if you are not interested in buying one of these, which is totally okay, maybe you're interested in making one yourself. Oh, that one's got a trimming inside. You might be interested in making one yourself. People keep asking me to do videos, tutorials on how I make grimoires. I'm actually not going to do that. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there on how to make junk journals. Just Google search or YouTube search how to make a junk journal, and as I said, you will literally find hundreds of videos. I'm not going to add to the mix with my imperfect, teaching method and my rambling. You guys don't need that. You get enough of my rambling when I'm showing you what I've created. You don't need it in me trying to teach you how to do something. So there are millions of other teachers out there. Godric agrees. So yeah, in answer to that question, no, I'm not going to do that. However, I highly recommend you checking out some of those junk journaling videos that are on the internet, because that's how I started. I learned from watching videos, and it's been a sort of hobby ever since that's grown. You know, I virtually or very rarely buy books these days to work in or journals to work in because I can make my own and make them even more special. I'm rambling again, my darlings. I hope you are all well and that you're doing okay in this very scary world that we're living in these days. Much love to you all, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye, my darlings.